because we had a lot of things that we had to decide on. First question was, how do we structure it? It's funny that that question was the first one. Okay, how do we do it? Are we an AG, a GmbH? Are we an association? Are we just a private partnership? Or are we just like not even having a structure, like just whatever, something global anybody can join, like an initiative? And we had lots of questions about that. And then, of course, we made a little drawing, said, oh, it's very simple, we're in the middle. Startups come to us, the founders, and investors come to us, and then we do something magic in the middle called matchmaking. And for that, do we need a structure? I don't know. But at least you need to make the startups happy and the investors happy, right? But then, of course, people said that's not good enough. You do need a little more structure, maybe. What about the strategy board? And then because they don't want to work so much because they only do strategy, we need somebody that actually works, which is the operations team, right? So that's the minimum structure that you typically have. If you don't have employees, then of course the board is doing all the work. Or maybe your investors. But this is the minimum structure I feel that you need at least to bootstrap something like an angel club. Now of course, that's boring. That's not what you wanted to hear. What you wanted to hear is maybe, how does this system then evolve? And the question is also, what problem are you really solving with that structure? Because this structure is quite simple, stupid, right? I guess everybody can do that. But the question is this really the problem that you have to solve? And I think it's not at all the problem that you have to solve. And you should actually not start with the structure to begin with. You should start with very different questions. For example, alignment of stakeholder interests. So who do you want to make happy? Who is it? Is it just the boxes we had on this other one, the 4 boxes? Or is it slightly more difficult or maybe more diverse? So what do they want? The startups, they want 1 to 2 million from the smartest angel investors, possibly yesterday, if not today. But even you could wait 1 day, then it's okay. So fast money from the best investors in no time. Then, what do investors want? They want, of course, the best startup deal flow. They want only the best of the best. They don't want to look at low performers or uninteresting stuff. Yeah, so they want the best deal flow. They want the best investors. So that's 2 problems you have to solve, but it's not everything. We have many more people that have other things. For example, the team, they want a purposeful job. And they want to get paid. For them, it's the main job. So you can't have operations team work pro bono for too long, because one day they will have to pay rent, and Switzerland is not cheap, you know. And then the board members, if they do it pro bono, they want to shape the club. They want to shape how it works. They want to have an influence. And right now we have 4 different stakeholders with very diverse things that you have to somehow fulfill. But this is not the full story. The full story is, oh, oops. Let's go back. The full story is more like this. We have many more stakeholders. For example, partner clubs. Other clubs that also do investments. You need to have a value proposition with them so they collaborate with you. Unless you say, no, we don't want any collaboration, we just do it with our small group of people, we don't talk to other people. And then if you have hosts for the events, they want something else. They want to get branding, they want to be seen as innovators. They use this as a press story. Typically they use the marketing budget to give you the free apero and the free location. So for the host you have a very different story than what you have for the operations team, the investors, or if you have corporate partners that pay you money, they again want a different story. They want new customers, they want branding, and this might be large companies with several hundred or several thousand people, and then you talk to very different stakeholders than if you talk to founders or investors. And then, of course, if you have an advisory board, they want to play a part in shaping the whole ecosystem, right? We have a waiting list of people that want to become advisors because they find it cool to be associated with what we do. And then we're kind of hesitant to take too many advisors because just having somebody on the website, I feel is not good enough. I want to have these people active. We want them to be our eyes and ears. And they need to come up with ideas to really shape it, and not just have the name and the brand from us, and that's it. So already see that, lots of different stakeholder management. The question is, okay, do you really want to build it so complicated? Or you want to go back and make it super slim and easy, you just have the first 3 boxes in red and not all the yellow ones? And then it's up to you. But if you build for scale, if you build for being part of a bigger network, if you build for being a platform and not just a closed user group, This is the problems you have to address, and you have to have an answer for each and one of them, otherwise you're not going to build critical mass. But now, given I've seen so many starters with business plans, people ask us, what's your business plan? What are you really doing here? I mean, it sounds like, yes, stakeholder management, but is this all about angel clubs? Actually, what you're doing is something very different. Let's first look at what resulted here. So sitting in the middle, we have annual partners, legal firms, audit firms, accounting firms, insurances. Then we have memberships, international with EBAN, European Business Angel Club, for example. Then this one, we're currently a member, but next year you're going to merge with us, so we disappear, become part of us. SECA, Private Equity Association. By the way, they were the largest club next to us in Switzerland. They're more than 20 years old. But they somehow figured that they could continue the mission better if they merged instead of trying to do their stuff alone. And then we work with other angel clubs, which have similar values and are organized in a similar way. Then we have these VCs and corporate ventures over here, the many investors and the many startups. And we also work with academic partners like ETH, EPFL, also with management schools like IMD and others, because we feel we have quite a good value proposition for that. Right, but what are we really doing here? I mean, what is the problem we're actually solving? And the problem we're solving is a super hard one. If a startup comes and says, this is my business plan, and I'm going to do this, I build a marketplace. I say, oh, marketplace. And it's tough, because a marketplace with 8 different stakeholders means you build up 8 different things at the same time. And the problem with marketplaces is, you cannot just grow one side of the marketplace. If you don't have enough investors, you don't have enough startups to come. If you have too many startups and enough investors, startups get frustrated because you don't get the money and the investors. If you don't have enough deal flow, you don't get more investors. So you need to build up all of these at the very same time. If you don't have enough corporates to sponsor you, you cannot build a large operations team. So you're scarce on resources. At the same time, everybody wants to collaborate, and you don't have the resource to do anything. So you can't work with your partners as well, and with the ecosystem as well. And this is the one problem which is really hard, but there's another one. Small marketplaces never work. So either you make it big, or you forget about it. It just doesn't work, because you cannot be a tiny little marketplace and be super attractive. It does not work. And you can never build all the 8 different pillars to a reasonable size if you're a tiny marketplace, because nobody finds you interesting. So this is the problem that you solve. Basically, build a multi-sided marketplace with very different stakeholder interests. And this is what makes it so hard to build an angel club. And this is also why I said, myself, I could never do that. But if I have people better than me, together we can maybe do it. So I was looking for the best people I knew in my network and asked them, who's the guy even cleverer than you? Please connect me to the smarter guy than you are. Anybody in the network that you would want to work with, because you can learn from that person. And so we built basically the seed of the club. We looked for people that could do stuff much better together on a very different level than a single person alone. Now, there's the big decision. What do you want to be? You want to be the nice, small angel club with 4 people, as I had it at the beginning. Super easy. We had nice dinners. We talked about all the deals. No structure. Everybody could decide on the money. The same day you asked them about want to invest or not. No processes.